Second Lieutenant Owen J. Bagget, a former defense contractor on the Wall Street, made a name for himself in World War II as a soldier who shot down a Japanese aircraft with a M911 pistol, while he was parachuting out of his damaged B-24 bomber. Owen John Bagget was born in 1920 in Graham, Texas. After graduating from the Hardin-Sarman University in 1941, he was employed as a defense contractor on the Wall Street. However, his career took a different direction in the same year when Japan attacked the US naval base at Pearl Harbor on Oahu Island, Hawaii. This surprise attack led the US to declare war on Japan and ultimately entered into the war against the Axis power. 3 days after the attack, Bagget enlisted in his country Air Force and began his service as a pilot in 1942. After his training, Bagget was posted to Pandeshwar in British India and became the co-pilot of the B-24 Liberator in the 7th Bombardment Group. His squadron was entrusted with protecting the Allied routes between India and China. They were also sent to many bomber missions in Burma, which was occupied by Japan as a part of their World War offensive against the Allies. During one of the bombing missions, the group were ordered to destroy the bridge at Pianama in Burma on 31st March 1943. However, not long after the bombers had taken off, Bagget's squadron was intercepted by 13 Japanese Ki-43 tactical fighter planes. The Nakajima Ki-43 Hayabusa was very similar to the infamous Zero planes used by the Imperial Japanese Navy. Both Japanese planes were very effective in combat, and due to their light weight, they could easily outnumber any opponent. Since Bagget's squadron consisted only bomber planes, without any support of fighter jets, they were easy targets for the Japanese pilots. Even though their B-24 had a strong armor, it was set on fire by several hits to the fuel tank. On the orders of the B-24 commander, Lloyd Jensen, the crew members jumped out of the severely damaged plane in the attempt to reach the safety of the ground with parachutes. While everyone in the crew was able to jump out of the crippled plane, the danger was far from over. The Japanese pilots started to shooting at the American soldiers while they were descending towards the ground. Bagget saw one of his crewmates was shot to pieces by one of the Japanese Ki-43s. Bagget himself had caught a bullet, and he hoped the enemy would ignore him, decide to play dead. He was at the altitude about a kilometer when a Ki-43 fighter slowed down and flew close to Bagget, even tilting the plane to check on the American. When he saw the Japanese pilot had opened the canopy of his plane in desperation, he pulled out his pistol and fired at the exposed enemy. The next thing he saw was the Japanese plane spiral downwards. In the course of all the mayhem, though he wasn't able to see what had come to the plane he shot at. After the successful landing behind the enemy lines, Bagget and 2 of the other servicemen had found each other, and 3 of them were taken prisoners by the Japanese. Only 4 of them survived that fateful day. Bagget was interrogated, and later in the same prisoner of camp he met Colonel Henry Melton, who had learned from a Japanese colonel that the Ki-43 pilot who Bagget was shot at was ejected from the plane before it crashed, and he was found with a gunshot wound in his head. Melton wanted to make an official statement of the incident, but he was killed before he could have gone on record. Being possible that the shot Bagget fired killed the Japanese pilot? Well, Bagget himself didn't believe that even one of his shots could have hit the target, but the story became very popular. However, no one could ever confirm nor deny this incident. But now we know that there were no Allied fighter planes in the area that day, and no accidental friendly fire was reported by the Japanese. Therefore, many believe the only explanation for the crash was one of Bagget's bullets hit the pilot. Bagget spent the rest of the war in the prisoner of camp. He weighed over 80 kg when he was captured, but barely over 40 kg when the Allies liberated the camp in 7th September 1945. He continued his service with the Air Force until 1943, when he retired as a colonel. Owen John Baggett lived a long life and died at age of 85 in 2006.